You gotta pay attention to the details in this flick to understand what's going down. It's just like what Deacon said. It's the little things that get you caught. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way. Hey. So I checked out the flick, The Little Things. It was written and directed by John Lee Hancock. It was a cool movie, but it was mad confusing because they never let us know who the killer is. Denzel Washington stars as Joe Deacon, aka Deke. He's a former LA detective that now works as a sheriff's deputy in Bakersfield. He worked a serial killer case that literally sucked the life out of him. It ruined his marriage, his health, and his career. On a work-related trip out in LA, he gets pulled into another major case where he teams up with another detective named Jim Baxter, that's played by Rami Malek. The case involves a serial killer that's targeting young women, and Deke believes the killer is the same person that got away years ago when he was in the LAPD. The police do a sweep of the latest victim's crime scene for evidence, and Deke finds evidence that leads them to a repairman named Albert Sparma. He's played by Jared Leto. Albert looks like he could be their man, but they couldn't find any evidence to prove that he was. Albert Sparma, he was a weird creep that gets turned on by imagining pain and death, but he also loves messing with the police. Stan Peters was a sex offender that they interrogated. He had a weird reaction to Mary Roberts' name, but they had no evidence to link him to the murder. So after he committed suicide, they X'd him out as a suspect. Mary Roberts was the one girl that got away from the serial killer, but Deke, he shot her by accident. He's convinced himself that he can make up for this by finding the man who kidnapped and tortured her before she was killed. Albert Sparma claimed that he knew where the missing girl was that they were looking for and led Jimmy to the California desert where he claimed he buried her. While Jimmy was digging in one spot, he points to another spot, and eventually Jimmy realizes he's being played. Albert Sparma even admitted that he never killed anyone in his entire life, but he instigates Jimmy to the point where Jimmy hits him with his shovel and kills him. Joe Deacon pulls up later and he's instantly down to help Jimmy cover up the situation by helping him bury the body. By the end of this flick, you definitely gonna be looking at Joe Deacon in a different light. It's clear Mans was obsessed with catching whoever the serial killer was, but he was wrong about Albert Sparma, and they went around the law to pursue him, and then he died. After they buried Albert, he told Jimmy to never go back to Albert's apartment and says, "It's the little things that get you caught." He said that to Jimmy before, but at this point in the film, those words sound like they're coming from a serial killer instead of a cop looking for justice. You gotta pay attention to the details in this flick to understand what's going down. It's just like what Deacon said. It's the little things that get you caught. I noticed that whenever Deke was driving around, it was real slow and usually in an old school car. And his focus was always on young women walking or driving by. There was even a scene at the start of the film of him cruising at night, staring at ladies. Then he went to eat at a restaurant. Next thing you know, a jogger chick got abducted that same night by a slow-moving old-school vehicle. Could he have ate his meal, then went out and abducted her? I think it's possible. In the conversation Jimmy and Deke had in the bar, Deke literally answered every single one of Jimmy's questions about the serial killer's motive. It sounded like a confession to me. He literally said that the killer got turned on from torturing and got sexual pleasure from killing women. Inside Deke's apartment, he had photos of the serial killer's female victims pinned up on his wall, and at night, he was looking at them with his flashlight like a full-blown creep. Y'all can't tell me that was normal. That scene highlighted a serial killer move. I think those were his victims. He looked mentally disturbed as he was remembering those murder victims, and the ghosts of the women came to his feet and appeared in his closet. I think what we were seeing was his guilty conscience on full display, keeping him up at night, not the ghosts of the victims he could not avenge. When have y'all ever seen the officers on the first 48 go that deep? Never. In that scene, he even whispered, "It's never over." Man, what I took that as, yeah, the bodies are stacking up, but I ain't never gonna stop killing. I think Joe Deacon shot Mary Roberts on purpose, because in that scene where she got killed, it looked like he looked and saw her walking up, but then he looked back at his partner, then he took the shot. That girl was the only one that escaped the serial killer's clutches. I mean, and he just coincidentally just shot her? Man, I ain't going for that. He ain't even show any emotion after she got bodied. I think he killed her to prevent her from snitching him out. At the end of the film, he even showed us how he gets down after a murder. He cleans the victims' homes, gives away the car that was used in the crime, and burns evidence. The final scenes show Jimmy getting a package from Joe Deacon that has a note that says, "No angels," and a red beret. That makes Jimmy think that Albert really was the killer, because the missing girl's parents said that she was wearing one when she disappeared. But later on, we seen that Deacon, he burned a pack of new berets with the red one missing, and the evidence that they took from Albert's house. That lets us know that Albert wasn't the killer, and Deacon, he bought a new pack of berets so he could give Jimmy the red one so he could feel better about killing Albert. Obviously, Deacon, he didn't want Jimmy to be haunted by his victim's ghosts like he is. This is a buddy cop film that gives off 90s murder mystery vibes. It had a dope story, dope visuals, the characters played their roles well, the eerie music gave it a dark feel too, so I'm gonna give this one 3 mics. Let me know what y'all thought about the little things in the comments below. Who do y'all think was the killer? Let me know in the comments below too. It's free for y'all to support the channel and help me take this channel to the next level by hitting that like button and subscribing too. So make sure y'all do that, and I'm gonna get up with y'all on the next video, alright? Holla at me. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way